Welcome to the Waiver Wire. Waiver Wire.
Waiver Wire.
Waiver Wire.
Waiver Wire.
What up? Welcome to the Waiver Wire, where fantasy players
What's
become
up,
fantasy
y'all?
legends. We are here. We are at the mecca of all sports, the Super Bowl. I really, as we talk about Brady versus other people, football is the hardest sport because it's only one game. It's only one game. And you can lose at any point in the playoffs just like that. And you can be a Cincinnati Bengals team that, and we've seen it year after year. Like, how many times did the Giants, the time that they beat the Patriots, the Steelers when they were the 6th seed and they came back and they won, it happens a lot in football, more so than any other sports, because it's not a 7-game series.
Yeah, it's a lot like who's playing better going into the playoffs.
You can beat Jordan once, but you got to beat him 4 times.
Yeah,
so
can you beat him in a 7-game series?
You can beat a baseball team when they're putting their third pitcher out there, but when they bring in Roger Clemens can you
beat their 1 and 2?
Exactly. So I think football is an incredibly hard sport to win in, which is why my guy Tom Brady is the best. Dannon got my penis hard when he came in earlier and told me that Tom Brady put a thing out saying that he we'll see how I feel in 6 months. Oh man, please come back. Please come back.
He did though. Something along those lines.
Please come back.
He's like, it's like he's laying the foundation.
Oh, please, please, that would be amazing.
He's gonna be the next Brett Favre.
Amazing,
He just can't stay gone.
But I mean, Brett Favre in those on the Jets team, it was like, I guess he can still do this. On the Minnesota team, he played well, but nowhere near was he top of the league.
Right.
Like,
no. I'm not comparing Brady to Favre in that sense. I'm just saying, is he going to leave and come back and retire
maybe,
and then unretire?
I fucking hope so. I don't
for the next
stop.
5 years.
Go to all the teams. Go to all the teams that you think can win. Even these teams that we're talking about Aaron Rodgers going to, imagine him going to Tennessee or him going to Indianapolis or him going to one of these teams that just needs a quarterback, that's on the very edge of just needing a quarterback.
He's like, I'm just going to start signing 1-year contracts.
Yeah. I mean, San Francisco, you could start
team.
Trey Lance if you want, or
the
guy that has tried to come to you multiple times, you could finally go, okay,
they'll
you can come
still
play in your
probably
hometown.
like,
Yeah, I know. They'll still probably spurn him, fucking bitches. So Cincinnati, well, I'm going ahead and calling it at the Rams because it is
at the Rams.
It is in their stadium. Yeah. So the Rams are a 4.5-point favorite.
Right. And I believe that we both said that we would take Cincinnati in the points.
No, mine's not the points.
Well,
mine's the outright.
You're saying they're going to win outright.
Oh, they're going to win. They're going to win this game. But yes, I also think the points are ridiculous because this is going to be a tight game.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's not going to be a blowout. I think it's about a field goal at least by both teams. So
if I was betting on it, I would definitely bet Cincinnati and the Rams. But so I was watching, I don't know, something about betting. ESPN's got a show about betting. Anyways, they brought up a stat that teams that are a field goal or more underdogs in the Super Bowl are 6-0 against the spread and 5-1 outright.
Listen, butthole pucker. Whose butthole's gonna pucker more? The pucker
factor.
The Sean McVay that I've seen him do some fuckery. I've seen him fuck some things up.
Yeah, he does some weird shit at times where you're like, what the fuck are you doing?
Like why are you
his
calling
challenges
this?
and shit. Like he challenged like 2 dumbass things.
Yeah.
When I'm looking, I'm like, that
was obvious. The second one was obvious too. The second challenge that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't
make just gave up a fucking timeout for nothing.
Well, So I just think that Joe Burrow, he hasn't seemed he's playing with house money. It doesn't matter.
Sure.
It doesn't.
For sure. And the Rams are expected to win.
Yeah, you got to.
And they were expected to win going into the season.
Yeah, look at all the free agents that they're going to lose. They're going to lose the 2 big names that they just brought over. Now, Odell and Von Miller could both re-sign, but these two trades that they just made at the end of this season to bolster up this squad, OBJ and Von Miller, also Sony Michel, are all going to be free agents. They're all going to walk out. They'll probably get somebody else, and I know that they'll be a good team next year, but Cincinnati is playing with house money. It just does not matter to Cincinnati.
Well, honestly, I don't really mind what the Rams are doing. They're giving up their number one draft picks, but, I mean, they're still in the fucking Super Bowl.
Yes, but I saw a thing how, I mean, he's done this for a while now, so he made...
They have like one of the youngest rosters in the NFL.
He's going to have some rough drafts coming up.
But they just don't value the number one picks. They have a lot. They have a lot of.
But without those first round picks, it's hard to change your team from a like Arizona that has all this young talent, Indianapolis that's built up all this young talent. It's because they have first round picks and because they've been able to get people and put them in those positions, I think. But you don't always win. You don't always do well on your first round pick either. Sometimes you swing and a miss. I mean, the NFL draft is
again,
weird.
like, I don't think that you can. I don't think it's a sustainable strategy, right? It's kind of like, you're so close, we need a couple pieces. Go ahead and trade those picks, and get us to the fucking Super Bowl. Now, I think that, maybe like 2 or 3 years they're gonna suck again. And they're gonna have to rebuild and do it again. But I don't have any problem.
I'd rather you do.
Right, but you have to build it up. But I don't have any problem with you saying, "Hey, we're 2 or 3 pieces short.
Yeah,
let's go get them and win our Super Bowl now."
Rather than being the Houston Texans who just suck.
I would love the
Texans
to do that.
Yeah,
if we were like, those teams that like we had some teams that were real close. And if I wouldn't have had any problem with them throwing a couple draft picks, going and getting a couple really elite players.
And sometimes when they do it, like when they traded the first round picks for Laramie Tunsil, when it was like, okay, like shut your fucking holes. Shut your fucking mouth. I appreciate you going for, offensive linemen when we've needed all this time, but I don't think this team's going to win a Super Bowl. So now you're doing it when it's like, okay, well, now this doesn't make any sense.
Exactly,
so now you're blowing first round picks when we didn't need
nothing,
it.
Right.
And exactly. Yes.
The Texans are just,
but the Bengals. Let's go Bengals. Let's go Joe Burrow. I'm rooting for you this Sunday. I think it's going to be a good game. I have off, which in the restaurant industry, what you've done with COVID, where you push the game back. It was so a year ago in the Super Bowl, I looked up when is the Super Bowl for next year going to be, because I was just going to go ahead and request it off right then, because I was like, I never want to work on the Super Bowl. But last year in the Super Bowl time, it said February 6th. Well, COVID pushed everything back. They added a week. Everything had kind of got pushed back a week. So I request off for February 6th. Son of a bitch. So then February 13th this year in the restaurant industry is the day before Valentine's Day.
The weekend day before Valentine's. It's going to be
Valentine's. So busy. Yeah. They have like over 500 covers and I had to beg. I had to be like, listen, I don't have religion. I don't, there's no real holiday that I care about. This is my holiday. Like, I can't be. First of all, do you want me to do a good job? Because I'm just gonna be standing over by the TV going, yeah. Will someone go talk to them? I'll give you money if you just go talk to them. I just want to watch the game. I care about it, and I don't know why, but I do, and I want to watch the football game. So.
I'll be working.
Yeah, and like literally everybody got scheduled. People that have been there longer than me got scheduled, and it was like I had to explain it to everyone. Like, I'm sorry, I asked for this. I really, really, really want the day off. But yeah, it's gonna be a good game. Go Bengals! Hooday! Yeah, so I got a little crazy last night, and it does look like a beautiful mind. It
so
looks
you're
like
crazy
I just
now, or like
now I'm
just
good. No, now I'm totally fine.
Last night you were crazy.
Yeah. I've got it all normal. Bottled up now. But this board,
you put the genie back in the
this
bottle.
This board that I write on to give us stuff to talk about is crazy. I can't even focus my mind on where we should go next.
Time finding
so much.
Things.
But let's talk about some of the talking points over here. Let's talk about how hilarious it was for me to see yesterday, and you I guess have a little more insight on this, but it just said news MLB not testing players for steroids, and I thought, okay, how ironic is it that the week after that you don't allow Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens into the Hall of fucking Fame
because of
you
steroids.
flash up a fucking thing that
We're
says
not testing anymore. So what happened is the agreement that they had with the Players Association as far as testing goes, because they had to have an agreement, right?
And the CBA,
as far as testing goes, it was over on February 1st. And so starting February 2nd, because they don't have a new agreement, they can't test anymore right now.
I hope some of you boys go get saucy.
So yeah, you're going to see some jacked motherfuckers.
I hope Jose Altuve comes back and he's like 6'3". It's like, what happened? He's like, I was just working out.
I went to Europe and had some stem cell research done.
But that is an absolute joke that would pop up on the same. So you watched the Barry Bonds thing.
I did.
And I mean, just like...
Oh, yeah. It's so obvious that he's not in because they just don't like him.
They just don't like him.
They don't like him. He didn't like them, and they don't like him.
One of the
it's
most hilarious parts of that thing. There's like and he's like a black guy too, but he's a writer, and he's like, I'm not going to vote for Barry Bonds because you wanted the money. You chased the money, and you went after the money. Hold on a second. Do you think that Barry Bonds wasn't going to get paid based on what he did in Pittsburgh and his young career? Does this fucking moron think that he wasn't going to get paid if he didn't hit home runs? Shut your fucking mouth. It made no sense.
He was the best player in baseball.
He had won more MVPs than anybody. At that point, I think he still has that record, right? Maybe Trout.
Yeah. No.
Does Trout have it 5 times? I don't know, because 5 was the record whenever he got to 5, and I think he won it again. Listen, he's the best. He was the best player in baseball. I don't know if you can really make the argument that anybody's ever been better now that it's all said and done with all the home runs that he hit, and I don't give a fuck that he took steroids. And honestly, they wanted in that documentary, they kind of tried to make me go like, oh, when they like showed the pictures of his before and after, but it kind of just wasn't that big a deal. And it kind of like when they showed the pictures in order, he was getting older.
He was getting older. He was lifting.
Yeah.
I mean, again, yes, he took steroids, but
I don't give a fuck.
You know what you have to? You know what you can't do when you take steroids? Like not put in the hard work.
Yeah.
You don't just take fucking steroids and get jacked.
Yeah.
You have to literally go to the fucking gym every day. You have to fucking eat right and sleep right and fucking take care of yourself. And he put that one interview that he was doing, and they're like, "Can you explain how this happened?" He said, "Hard work."
Yeah,
that's very true. He put in the hard fucking work.
You think he was just taking steroids and going up there and hitting home runs so that he wasn't practicing swinging the bat?
Or it's just ridiculous. It's absolutely. It's so. That's why I texted you that after I got done watching it. I was like, yeah, he's not in because they don't like him.
Well, yeah, and like in that documentary, you see him going off on the media.
Well, and I remember then back in the playing days where him and the media, they didn't like each other. No. And I think that someone even made mention before he ever quit playing how hard it would be for him to get into the Hall of Fame. Because,
well, that's a joke.
Because the writers don't like him.
Then it makes your Hall of Fame a joke, and it's not serious, and it's not something that I'll ever give a fuck about. You can tell me who makes the Hall of Fame, but from here on out in baseball, it'll just be like, yeah, okay, whatever. Yeah. It doesn't matter.
Well, and then did you see Dusty Baker? Yeah. He's like, how many Saints are in the Hall of Fame anyways? You know, like, what the fuck,
I mean, dude, like the only other player. Also, David Ortiz getting in the year that he can't.
On the first.
His first a designated hitter.
They loved him. And the media loved Big Papi.
Ridiculous.
They loved him.
That's not what that's not what it's about, though.
He tested positive.
He had a positive test.
I don't think Barry ever tested positive.
No, the only thing that they had against him was that where they read his testimony, where he said that he was given stuff he just didn't know what it was, and he said that he got the clear
cream,
and the cream,
clear in the cream,
and then he didn't know what it was, which he didn't know what it was.
That's bullshit. Yes, because somebody else said there was another where like Barry was so meticulous about everything that he did, everything that went into his body.
Yeah, he knew what he was doing.
There is absolutely no way he didn't know what was going on.
But I bet, just like you said, he was probably taking the stuff and then he was going to work out and he was like seeing the difference. So he was like, oh wow, like this is working. Like, not only is me going to the gym and working out, this stuff is helping me.
Well, here's the thing about the whole like chasing the money is that he started taking the steroids after he got paid.
That's when that guy said that. It's towards the end of the documentary, and it was like, dude, you're such a fucking moron.
Two of those guys said it.
Tim Kirchkin said that he didn't vote for him. The guy was always
Richard Justice does though, and there's plenty.
There was a couple guys on there that said they absolutely do, and you fucking should. They're the best, and it makes me mad that Clemens wasn't talked about in the same. I mean, he had 7 Cy Youngs. He's the only person to have ever done that.
Of it at the end, but
he was also he's also best to ever do it in my opinion too, or one of the best to ever do it
in the conversation.
He's on the Mount Rushmore for sure. Yeah. You know, I mean, it's just a joke. So that flashed on the screen yesterday, and I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me? Why would you?"
I'm kind of done with baseball, anyways, man.
And I'll tell you what, if they don't play this year, I'm definitely gonna lose. I'm gonna lose all interest.
I'm almost done with.
Well, the only problem is that we live here in Houston, Texas, Dan, and the only thing that we have going for us, the only sports franchise that is good or worth mentioning is the Houston Astros. So that's the only problem, is that they will be in the playoffs again. They will be a good team, and I will be rooting for them. But how about this? Some coaches were hired. First of all, Dennis Allen, who was the defensive coordinator that had a really good year for New Orleans this year, really was the reason that New Orleans hung around and was.
And it looks like New Orleans is holding on to most of their players.
Yeah, they got most of their people. So, yep.
And they weren't bad. They
need a quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean,
and they need
receivers.
Some offensive weapons.
Yeah, they do. They need receivers. Is Michael Thomas ever going to play again?
Well, no, but Kamara might not ever play. Did you not? You didn't put that up there.
I didn't put it on there. I know.
Kamara might be. He might be.
He beat the fuck out of a guy.
Yeah,
beat the fuck out of a guy. I mean, I don't think he's not going to play.
But it says it could carry a 1 to 5 year sentence in prison.
5 year.
1 to 5 year prison.
In prison?
Sentence if convicted.
He's rich. He's not going to do 5 years. He might do 1.
But like I'm saying, if he goes 1 year, you ain't got Kamara for a year.
And then he gets suspended. Yeah, because the NFL will suspend him too. So, it could be.
Not that his career is over.
What's crazy is he did that Saturday night.
And then played in the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
Got arrested after the Pro Bowl.
How crazy. And they must have been aware. They must have let him play. That's going to come out.
It has. So they have a video of it. So I don't know how he could ever. But yeah,
I want to see the video.
Michael Irving's that you got to have a fall guy.
What gentleman is walking up to Alvin Kamara and is like,
"Oh,
I'm glad he woke up in the hospital. You know, I'm glad that he was like, oh what happened? You fought Alvin Kamara and a group of gentlemen, apparently,
which are probably also football players. But
I just don't understand
come on,
it,
guys. Why are you?
Yeah, and they jumped him too. Apparently, there was like a bunch of them kicking him when he was down. It's bad. Bad look.
What are you doing?
And if New Orleans does lose Alvin Kamara and they have no quarterback, I've got them being a bad team next year. I mean, they've got nobody. I don't know what. Without Sean Payton.
Now, they might be competitive because they have a good defense, but
yeah, I could see them losing a lot of games. The San Francisco's offensive coordinator, Kyle Shanahan, calls all the plays. I don't know how big of a deal this guy is, but he went to Miami.
Apparently, he laid out he had some elaborate plan.
He's a young guy. And that's kind of the new fad.
He's the first minority head coach to be hired this season.
No, the San Francisco offensive coordinator. He's not black.
Apparently, his dad's black, which makes him black.
Whatever.
No, he looks like a white dude.
We took care of that. We took care of the black. We took care.
We took care of all the black. Did you hear what they were gonna hire? Fucking Josh McCown.
Oh, that's
who the Texans are gonna fucking hire.
That's who we were. Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Stephen A. Smith.
What the fuck?
Stephen A. Smith had a big thing. I think that's part of the reason that we went with Lovey, because Stephen A. Smith went on ESPN and was like, "This is insulting."
Him
to
and
all
Michael
black
Irvin
coaches.
were like, and they even called out the Texans like, I think that they did this, like they got wind, like they were gonna hire Josh McCown. It was done, and then they're like, somebody must have like, hey, you can't do that.
A black guy now.
you can't hire.
I mean,
he has no experience. What the fuck? And I can see the Texans hiring like
Josh McCown. I definitely could. I mean, this is also one of the dumbest hirings I've ever seen.
Which one, Lovey?
Lovey Smith.
Well, at least he's already on the team.
Yeah, but then why not just keep David Culley?
Yeah, I don't understand. You and we said it here that we didn't think Culley should have got fired.
So Lovey was a part of the coaching staff from last year, and you were like, you know what? David was the problem, but sitting in our midst is the future and our guy.
We just didn't know it.
It makes no sense.
He's 70 years
Lovie
old.
Smith has also never really been successful.
Nope.
You know, he had some good years in Chicago, I guess. I don't really remember that, but
Well, he went to the Super Bowl.
okay. Oh, was that with Brian Urlacher and that? Yeah, okay.
Well, they lost to. Remember, it was because Tony Dungy played Lovie Smith in the Super Bowl. That was the first time two African American head coaches.
Got it. Remember, yeah, and Peyton won.
I just don't understand why no one's giving Byron Leftwich and fucking
Eric Bieniemy. I can explain the Eric Bieniemy. Like, you have Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. I could be an offensive coordinator for the Chiefs.
Right, but here's the thing. Here's my thing. The head coach. Right, you got offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators to draw up your plays and and control those two plays. You have quarterback coaches and receivers coaches and running back coaches and offensive line coaches. The head coach is in charge of all of these coaches and making sure that everybody operates cohesively as a team, including the players. And one of the things that I think that the head coach is responsible for is being a psychologist and getting everybody to buy in, including the coaches and the players, to all work as one, right? Yeah. And the majority of these fucking players are black.
Yeah.
They just are. And so if I'm trying to get somebody to get a group of 50 black men to fucking all work together, I might want somebody who relates to them. You know, get a white offensive coordinator if he's the best one calling the plays. But I just don't understand why nobody's taking a. They're not even trying.
That's a good point.
I mean, like, I think Stephen A. brought up this point that when the Rooney Rule was instituted, there was 3 black head coaches. 20 years later, there's 1.
Yeah. Well, 2 now.
It's not working.
No, it's not. And I mean, you definitely can make the argument that if you're gonna follow the Rooney Rule, you've interviewed Brian Flores. He's had success in the NFL.
Yeah, that's who I wanted.
Why would you not just go get Brian Flores if you're trying to
because they're going to blackball him.
And that's what we're going to talk about now is that Brian Flores earlier in the week came out with a whole thing where he said that the Miami coaches were offering him $100,000 a game to lose. That
the owners or
the Miami owners. What did I say? Miami
coaches.
No, sorry. The Miami owners offered Flores $100,000 a game to lose. He brought up situations where they had Deshaun Watson out on a yacht, and they were like, "Hey, we need you to come out and have this meeting on this yacht." And Deshaun Watson was there, and they were like, "We just want to talk." Brian Flores left because he was like, "This is not right. This is tampering." He said that the interview with the Giants was quick, and that the being able to prove in court whether or not the interview was real or not, that's kind of that's hit or miss. I don't think it like
same thing with the Broncos.
With the Broncos, you're not going to be able to prove that.
It's a perspective.
That's a perspective,
thing.
Yeah.
And they've already come out and said, well, they were on an early flight or a late flight, and they were tired.
John Elway's probably going to countersue Brian Flores for defamation because John Elway was said that he was disheveled and that he from a long night of
looked
drinking.
like he'd been drinking all night.
And John Elway said that he flew in overnight to be there for Brian Flores and took notes and was very much paying attention during the meeting. Oh, yeah. But the meeting stuff, I feel like you can't prove. But if you have proof of them offering you $100,000 to lose a game, they're talking about this is some Donald Sterling shit. This guy's gonna have to sell his team because you can't have that. Nah. You can't have in your game where owners are offering coaches to lose because they just want a better draft pick. Like that muddies all the waters and it makes everything nasty. And the Dolphins are in big trouble. Big trouble.
surely you don't think surely that doesn't surprise you that like it's surprising that he's coming out and saying it.
It's
because
surprising that there's a number behind it.
Yeah, but you don't think that that's actually happened or that happens? Like, hey, listen, because
I guess
we gotta,
now I do.
We got to agree that, like, well, right. I never really thought that they were paying. Like, I guess in my head it was just always, hey,
yeah, like
sit them down. We're gonna lose the rest of the season.
I could see that. I could see you sitting down and being like, listen.
And now,
I get it.
Right.
These guys want to win, but it wouldn't be in your best interest to play some rookies, lose some close games, make some calls that aren't great. Yeah. But I'm going to keep you around.
Come up with some shittier plans.
I'm going to keep you around through the bad years. Right. We're gonna do this together. I can see that.
So
but
then that's
him down
why
and saying, "I'll give you $100,000 if you lose the game."
But then that's why he got fired because he wasn't a bad.
Because he said no. Yeah, he said I won't.
He was not playing fucking ball.
Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah,
we're gonna win games.
They're like, oh, you won't do what we want. We're gonna find a coach that will.
Get the fuck out of here, black boy.
So then when so that was the interview process. Hey, we're gonna do some shady shit. Are you cool with that?
What's crazy is he was supposedly was in the final running for Houston and New Orleans.
But again, he could have
waited.
Suicide. Oh.
He could have waited. He could have got one of these jobs possibly, and then he could have came out and said all this stuff about his former employees. Now, I get it. If he would have done that, it would have got you fired, or your new employer's like, "Hey, bro, what the fuck? Like, I'm in a club with these guys. Like, you just sank Miami." He Colin Kaepernicked himself. He's definitely not going to get hired now. He's going to get blackballed.
Yeah,
but I gotta give him kudos.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, if this is true, and I'm only talking about the $100,000 to lose a game and the Deshaun Watson thing. The other stuff, the racial hiring, I don't know what it's like to be a black person, so I can't imagine what it's like to go into these interviews. But there's no real way that he's going to be able to prove that in a court. He could maybe get a jury to kind of side with him, but
for sure. But I'll tell you this, man. You're telling me that I don't know how to put this. I'm like stumbling over my thoughts. There's probably, of all the coaches that coach in the NFL, what percentage of them would you say are white?
Of the coaches?
Yeah, like all offensive coordinators, all of them.
Well, actually, I would guess it's more even. And if you do the wide scale of all of them,
there's probably more numbers, but I doubt that the ratio is. I mean, like, well,
you think it's still high white?
I would imagine. I would say probably 80 to 90%. I would bet
probably. Yeah.
And you think that? Do you? That's and then. So my point of saying that is, do you think that that the 80 to 90% of the best football minds in the world are fucking white?
Okay, so we're gonna get into a strange. I mean,
because I don't.
I'm with you. However, there have been people like Mike Singletary that have come in and not been very good coaches.
Well, I'm okay with you firing them. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, they're not even
giving them a shot,
giving them a chance.
Fair enough. And I think that there have been plenty of coaches, a la Andy Reid, who have made a living off of black athletes that have played really good football, and not necessarily that he's such a great coach. He's just been in good situations his whole career.
But again, like the head coach, and so this is one of the reasons why you see some of these really good coordinators not be good head coaches, because it's not all about X's and O's when you're the head coach.
Yeah, it's true.
This is why Belichick is so good at being a head coach, because he understands the mind games.
Yeah.
Now, he plays a really dark side of the mind game trick, but he's very good at it to get what he wants out of everybody.
Well, and I mean, I'm of the mindset too that I like the idea of people like Byron Leftwich, that is a former player, former quarterback, been in the fire, knows what it's like, and he is a black guy too. So, like you said, he can connect. So, and like Shaq brought up this week at some point that Deion Sanders should be the coach of the Dallas Cowboys. Dude, Dion's a badass prime time as a NFL coach. It works.
But for those same reasons, because
his football
he
mind.
would have everybody to buy in almost immediately because he has such a fucking
if Jerry
presence.
Rice wanted to be a coach, I gotta imagine.
Right, but Jerry Rice doesn't have the charisma that Dion has. You know, like, it's like Dion can control a room. When Dion's in the room, he is the man in the room. You know what I'm saying? Jerry Rice
to
ain't
a group
like that.
of football players, Jerry Rice could be charismatic because they're gonna hang on every word that he says.
Maybe.
So I don't know. I'm with you. I think that there should be more black coaches hired. I could make the argument with Eric Bieniemy, though. I understand where you like if you're judging him, you're like, yeah, but
he's only been an offensive coordinator in Kansas City.
I think so. I think he's had other positions,
but like Leftwich is a former quarterback too, and has high level coaching experience in the NFL.
Well,
and the Texans are going to hire Josh McCown.
You know what Stephen A. and Michael Irvin and all these guys always say is that you get into these interviews and you're interviewing with these old white guys.
I know.
And they want you to look like them. They want you to connect with them. They want to think about going out to eat with you and your family. And a lot of these guys probably have a lot of racism deeply buried in them that they're just
that's
like,
what I'm saying. I think there's absolutely high levels of racism going on.
Obviously.
You're talking about, you know, like, what did they say? There's 30 of the owners are white. Now, some of them are Jewish, and sometimes Jewish people say that they're not white. But
and the Jacksonville owner is Middle Eastern. He's
Middle Eastern, you know, and then I forget the other one.
Yeah, I can't think of another one that's not white. But yeah, they're all old white men, and they don't want these people. You know, they don't want they don't want the black people here. And it's terrible,
and I think Stephen A. and Michael Irvin were talking about that this week too. Is that what they need a black ownership, and so then if Miami's loses, if he loses his team, it might be sold to a black ownership.
That's nice. That's a good idea. But yeah, Brian Flores, that he kind of sunk his
off on that one. Long.
Yeah, well, there's a lot to unpack there. I mean, there's a lot going on with that, and then Hugh Jackson came out a little bit after that and said, yeah, the Browns offered me to lose as well. I'm with you. I think it's happened before. It was just,
I'm just saying,
it
I'm
was
not
shocking
surprised
to hear there was a dollar amount on a game. It was like, holy fuck. Also, okay, and I've said before, I mean, the head coach can try to lose a game, but these guys that are going out there, these NFL players, they're trying to further their careers. So they're going to play hard. Now, like I said, you could play some rookies, you can put people in the wrong positions, you can call a bad play, blah, 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 blah. But in a football game, anything can happen. Anybody can win. I don't know how much.
You could even though, yeah, but I think, man, there's all kinds of ways.
But Miami was trying to win. I mean, Miami in the tail end of this season,
they should have made the fucking playoffs.
Yeah, and they really went on a great run. I mean, they lost 7 and then won 7. So that was a first that's ever happened. So.
Did he change his mind halfway through the season? It's like, I'm not taking any more of your money.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, I got 700,000. I'm good.
They come to him. They come to him with another 100,000 on that game 8.
Like, no.
He's like, "Fuck you."
He's like, "Nah,
we're gonna win."
We're
and then
winning.
He keeps winning. They're like, "This motherfucker." That'd be.
And then
that's
they fired
awesome.
him.
That's a good movie. That's a really good movie. That's a funny movie.
I don't need any more money. The 700,000.
Major League. That's like Major League, you know?
Yeah.
The owner that, yeah. But Doug Peterson also got hired by Jacksonville. Doug Peterson, won with Philly.
He won a Super Bowl.
It's probably a good hire. It's a good idea to pair him with Trevor Lawrence. He seems like he knows what he's doing with quarterbacks. So, former quarterback. So, yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, that was a good one.
The only position left is the Minnesota Vikings,
and Harbaugh doesn't want to go.
No, and
he says he's a Michigan man.
Why leave the college?
Why take the interview if you're a Michigan man and want to stay there?
Well, because I'm sure you want to. You
just want to stroke.
Yeah, you want to hear.
Come suck my dick.
Yeah, he's a Michigan man this year. And
maybe
then next
just
year,
to keep them. Maybe
we'll think about it again.
Maybe to keep Michigan on their toes.
Keep Michigan on your toes.
Maybe they'll come up with
how much more money you gonna throw at me?
You got a couple more $1 million.
I'm sure that
the booster.
Yeah, the booster.
Couple more booster envelopes for you.
There was probably a board member that sent a car over to the house and was like, hey,
relax,
just chill out.
What are you doing?
Yeah, what do you
Coach
want
for life?
You want a Filipino boy? You want a nice little, black girl? I got it. I got
Coach
you. Whatever
for
you
life.
need.
Coach, that's what he wants.
But yeah, Minnesota's still an open and a pretty good team. I mean, it's not a bad team to take over. It's got to be a good job.
I think it's a.
You thought it was the best situation.
They underachieved last year, and they lost a lot of close games.
Yeah,
Minnesota's not a bad team.
Not losing a lot out of offense. They still got Thielen and Jefferson and Kirk Cousins, but they're going to lose Anthony Barr and Patrick Peterson. But they can rebound off of that.
Hurt off on the defensive side.
They could probably tag Barr. But yeah, so we can briefly talk about some of this stuff if you've been seeing anything that jumps out at you there. Not a lot of big names in the free agency. I'd say Chris Godwin is probably one of the big names. Chandler Jones.
Adams.
Yep, Devontae Adams. He's probably, I would bet my left nut he's going to get tagged because they haven't tagged him yet. And so I would assume that that's what they're going to do is they're going to tag him. But Dallas losing, Michael Gallup, Dalton Schultz, Randy Gregory, Leighton Vander Esch.
And they've already got a bunch of money tied up in fucking
it's not like they
Zeke
they won't be able to pay some of those guys.
No.
Dalton Schultz, after the year that he had, I would assume he can acquire some sort of money. So unless he wants to stay with Dallas, that's a big loss for them.
Why would he? But why would he? Yeah, I mean, you want to. Go get your money, kid.
Yeah, exactly. New England is getting decimated.
Chicago's losing Andy Dalton.
Yeah, what will they do? They might have to start fucking Nick Foles, the Super Bowl MVP. Makes no sense. Kansas City's losing the Honey Badger. I thought that was a big deal. It is a big deal.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, if they don't re-sign somebody like that to fill that void, because he really kind of changed their team.
Ooh, Marlon Mack is free agent.
Yeah, Marlon Mack. Yeah, Indianapolis. I doubt they're gonna re-sign Ty. Maybe do a 1-year deal.
Chandler Jones
is a big name.
Connor Edmonds,
James
Arizona.
Conner, Chase Edmonds, AJ Green, Zach Ertz, and Christian Kirk.
Yeah, they're losing.
They're losing most of their offense. Just having DeAndre Hopkins, and they're gonna have to figure it out. They're gonna have to re-sign at least 2 of those names. So. The Green Bay, very interesting. I put on there a couple of, I didn't put a bunch of restricted free agents, but some of them that I thought mattered, like Devontae Adams, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, and Alan Lazar.
Top three receivers.
That's their top 3 receivers. And they could re-sign Alan Lazard. They can match anything that he's offered. But if you're going to be tagging Devontae Adams and giving him a fat amount of money, plus Robert Tonyan, I know he hurt himself, but he's also a free agent as well. Juju.
Mike Gaseki.
Yep, Mike Gaseki on Miami. That's a big one. Will Fuller, who
Odell.
Will Fuller doesn't really play. New England is losing a lot of people. They're losing Devin McCourty, Trent Brown, Dante Hightower, James White, Jamie Collins, J.C. Jackson. Jacoby Myers is a restricted free agent. So a lot of these teams and Tampa Bay, man. Tampa Bay is losing Nakumden Sue, Gronk, Leonard Fournette, Ronald Jones, O.J. Howard, Chris Godwin, JPP. I'm pretty sure Gronk's going to retire.
Gronk's going to retire again. He don't want to play.
Yeah,
not
without Brady. It's not the same.
Seattle's not losing anybody.
Atlanta, Cordell Patterson. Not anybody big. Their safety, I think I saw Quandrell Diggs, I think is his name, who's pretty good. But not anybody substantial. Yeah. A couple of those where I put Vegas, not really losing anybody substantial. Carolina, I didn't see anybody big. Philly, not really. San Francisco's just losing Mostert, but they have a couple of good young running backs, so I don't think that'll bother them too much. The Chargers, Mike Williams, he was pretty good last year. They're gonna have to figure that out. CJ Uzoma for Cincinnati. I really like him. So
a lot of good tight ends out there.
Yeah. David Njoku's finally.
We're losing Tyrod Taylor.
and David Johnson. Justin Reed is a big one. I hope we throw the tag on him because I don't want to lose him just yet. He's a good young player. But yeah, pretty interesting. Got some interesting names. I wouldn't say a ton of big names, but should be interesting to see how some of this falls out. What else do we got? So basketball. I threw up some basketball standings over here because we're definitely over the. I mean, if they've played 50-something games, we're over the halfway point. So we're getting down to it.
So Houston's out of it. Who you rooting? Well, you're rooting for LA,
I guess, but look at where they're at. I wasn't only going to put the top 8 because that's what it used to be. But then now with the play-in, there's 9 and 10.
It's 10,
and then I had to bring up the fact that the fucking Lakers are the 9 seed because they're so far down. They suck. Phoenix
trade deadline's coming up this week.
Phoenix and Golden State to me are hands down. Yeah, and they keep talking about what if LeBron wants out.
We talked about that last week though. But you were saying that you think that he's cemented there because that's it's LA.
It's true. I don't think he's gonna leave. I don't think he wants to leave. I think he and honestly the way that Anthony Davis has been playing. Though. The way that Anthony Davis has been playing, I think it kind of sparks his okay, if I can get rid of Russ, if we can lose Russell Westbrook and get anything back that brings me positive things, I can make a second run at this.
So the Lakers need to make a trade.
They got to. They can't have Russell Westbrook. He's eating up way too much money to be sitting in the. They won that game against the Knicks in overtime, and Russell Westbrook didn't play a single minute because the coach Frank Vogel realizes this guy is killing us. He's a turnover machine. He won't stop jacking up threes, and he can't hit threes.
Is LeBron playing yet?
Yeah, he came back. But he came back and he played that Knicks game, and then he was out. I think it's going to be a.
Why hasn't he just played? Why don't LeBron just play the point?
Well, for offensively, he does. I mean, you can call it whatever you want. You can have Russell Westbrook.
Defensively, he's not going to D up the point guard.
Yeah, he can't D the point guard up. So they switch him onto other things, and you really need a good defensive. That's why the Ben Simmons thing I think makes great sense. Ben Simmons plays great defense.
Yeah, but Philly don't want fucking
No,
Westbrook.
they don't want Russell Westbrook. Nobody. Houston doesn't want this shit back.
Oh.
Houston's we don't even want it. John Wall's not even playing for us, but we don't want that loser back in this building. He sucks. Because he does. He sucks. But Phoenix, LA, listen. No matter what, even if the rest of this year they do make a trade, if they make a trade for Ben Simmons, I give them a better shot. But they're going to make a play-in. Maybe they win, maybe they don't. But they get ousted by Phoenix and Golden State.
I got Golden State winning in at this point.
Yeah, I hear you. Because last night, Klay Thompson won that game.
So then
Memphis, though.
Something they were talking about. I think I'll root for Memphis. Memphis is the team I like to.
Ja is a superstar. He is for real.
Awesome. Yeah.
He is for real. He is a really good player.
Watch. Yeah.
I'm worried about his knees.
Well, he's very Derrick Rose-ish.
Very explosive.
Yes.
But
he's small.
Yeah. So and don't get me wrong, I love it. I love his explosiveness, but
maybe enjoy it. Yeah, maybe enjoy it while it is. Let's hope for. Let's pray for his longevity.
Luka has been playing a lot better. Dallas went on a little bit of a run. They passed Denver. Those top six Western Conference teams.
Hey, Luka, get on the TB12 diet. Whatever. Hit up.
I kind of like his thick attitude. I kind of like the fact that he's he just
see
looks
that
like
one
this
kid. I think he plays for Memphis. That he before his press conference with the.
Oh no, that was Minnesota. That was Anthony Edwards.
Yeah.
Anthony Edwards, who. I see Minnesota here as the number 7. He ordered McDonald's, is what you were gonna say.
That's my point.
Yeah, sorry.
Come on, bro.
Yeah,
you eat McDonald's.
Yeah, well, a lot of these kids come from the inner city where this has been their life. I know.
Guys, they gotta know this by now.
McDonald's is terrible.
Nobody's got a hold of you and been like, "Hey, man,
yeah, you can't do that." But Minnesota, the reason why they're coming on is that Anthony Edwards kid, the kid that you're talking about that were in McDonald's, because he is fucking really good, good young talent. And the Clippers, they don't have Paul George or Kawhi. I don't know. I don't know how they're the 8th seed and the Lakers are the 9. 9. That's fucking terrible. The 10 seed, which the wins and losses are really bad there, and the drop off in the Western Conference
The West is
for
the
real.
new East, huh?
I don't know if that's true, because what I was going to just say is that 1 through 6 on the Western Conference, I think gives Miami or Milwaukee or Chicago a run for their money in a finals situation. I've got the Western Conference winning this year.
Cleveland
over
and Chicago.
Chicago's a weird team.
Yeah,
I don't get.
Chicago's not that good.
I know they're a weird team.
Every time I watch them, I'm like,
yeah.
They lose. Every time I've watched them, they
Miami
lose.
and Milwaukee will win the East because they are a better team.
If Philly can find a trade partner for Simmons. Well, did you see that? Harden might want out.
Yeah, but Brooklyn, I don't even consider Brooklyn a team because those 3 guys will never play on the same court at the same time
to win the title.
Get the fuck out of here!
I know.
First of all, Kevin Durant is fragile. And he's out for he's been out for weeks now. He's going to be out for a couple more. James Harden is fragile. Kyrie Irving is fragile.
I don't think Harden's fragile.
In the Indy is.
He is. Well,
he makes it through a whole regular season where he's great. He
toughs it out,
and then in the playoffs, he's fragile.
You're right.
And
it's probably he
hasn't been getting the foul calls. He has not been getting the same foul calls. You know what it is that the rest of the NBA has figured it out. Just let this motherfucker do his shit and, contest him on the 3-point because he is a good 3-point shooter. But as far as him driving to the lane, just kind of play some semi-defense and then kind of get out of his way. He's going to flop or he's gonna mess up the free throw or the layup. Yeah. And he really hasn't been as effective. James Harden, I was never a big fan.
I'm not a huge fan of Harden either. I like that he tips really well.
He does. He's a douche when you talk.
He does. He won't talk back.
He won't look at you, but he will give you extra money for it.
He will.
I appreciate
he pays for it, and I'm so. That's cool.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at the records compared to the West, so like the number 1 seed is 35-20 on Miami, and Phoenix is 43-10. So I hear you that the drop off in the West is bad, and after Minnesota, Clippers, Lakers, New Orleans, that's not good to be your play-in playoffs. But the top 6 is really good, and I would say. After Miami, Milwaukee, I have a lot of question marks on these Eastern Conference teams.
I don't know because
how did Cleveland do this? With
I don't know.
They lost Colin Sexton and they lost that Darius Garland. Who, listen, they have good young players, and I know how they're winning some games, but with losing some of the injuries that they had, I thought they were going to fall off completely. But they're in it.
I would
as far
expect
as
Atlanta to come on too, though.
What happened to them too? Because they were in the.
They did that last year, though, right?
Yeah, but then 2 years ago they were in the Eastern Conference Finals. So
yeah, but last year they started coming on at the end of the season.
Yes,
and they made the playoffs.
But they did suck at the beginning.
First round playoff series, didn't they?
Probably. Trae Young is good, but they did trade Cam Reddish to the Knicks. And that was a good young player that I thought that was kind of I thought y'all were kind of putting him and Trae Young together to kind of grow together. But the Knicks are a weird team. The Knicks apparently are gunning for Zion to make a trade for Zion, but they're going to have to give up some other pieces for Zion. And is Zion even ever going to play again? So
let's put RJ Barrett.
Yeah, RJ Barrett and Zion back together. Yeah, because Cam Reddish and RJ Barrett are back together now.
Oh, that would be all 3 of them.
Yeah, they want them to get all of them back and
that'd
have
be kind of cool.
Be cool
if Zion. What the fuck?
If Zion ever plays again?
Didn't we tell Zion? Hey Zion, get on that TB12 time. Bro.
Now that I support. Some of you other young players that are just like because Anthony Edwards is in great shape, bro.
Well, that's what fucking eating McDonald's, bro.
I know it's gonna catch up to you.
Well, not just. Well, okay, but if he's as good as he is eating McDonald's, how much better would you be if
chicken and broccoli? Yeah, I hear you. But
if he's only 18 or 19 or some shit like that.
If I had to play out the playoffs right now, I'm going to say that Miami and Milwaukee make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. I actually think that Milwaukee wins again and goes to the finals because I see a different Giannis.
Yeah, he's not resting on his laurels.
He's confident.
Well, he keeps adding something to his game.
Yeah.
He's been working on his 3-pointer.
And he's not forcing shit. He used to force shit kind of late in games. Like, I have to just drive to the basket and make shit happen. He's passing in these situations where he should now.
Yeah.
I think his basketball IQ is getting better. Now, Miami getting Kyle Lowry. They have Bam Adebayo.
I'm a big Kyle Lowry fan. What's up, Kyle?
And I think adding him to that team is dangerous because they needed a good. Goran Dragic was good for them, but then he got hurt. And if they had him in those finals, I don't really know. I don't know if the Lakers maybe would have won that because the Miami was a really good team. Jimmy Butler's a dog. So I give Miami a fighting chance, but somebody was joking around saying send Braun back to Miami.
For who though? You'd have to give him Jimmy Butler.
Next year he can be a free agent. So next year Braun can decide to opt out and become a free agent and go wherever he wants. And he could take a smaller deal because he's made so much money in his career, and he could go somewhere and he could chase rings. And he could get 2 more. And any of these, I mean, I could name you 8. But Phoenix, Golden State, Memphis, Dallas, Miami, Chicago. Shit, go back to those young kids in Cleveland. Him and Joel Embiid with Philly. I mean, there are situations where LeBron could walk in the door and I could say, He goes to Memphis with Ja Morant and those other young kids and they lose no one for it. He just walks in the door and he takes a veteran deal.
He ain't taking no veteran deal.
Why not?
Because he's got an ego.
I know,
and
but
the NBA is all about the dollars.
Well,
and in their little clique, and that's just the way they walk around. It's how much they fucking get paid, how much their salary is.
Here's the thing. That he's a kid that grew up. He watches a lot of television. He watches what people say about him. Tom Brady did the same thing too. He's very aware of what the media is saying. And Charles Oakley brought this up. Shaq and Charles Barkley talked about it too. They were like, if you want to chase rings the way some of these other people are, you can.
Do you think he wants to?
I think. Hey, listen. At the way he's playing, no matter where he's at, he's got a good chance to catch Kareem and catch the points.
I mean, I'm with Stephen A. He's still a top 5 player in the league.
If you can get the points and you can get 6 rings and you can be equal on the rings and
he's got 5 now.
He's got 4.
He's got 4 now.
He's got 4 and he
definitely needs to catch Kobe.
He's been to 10 finals, which if he goes to more of them. Then
and wins.
If he's 6 and he's been to fucking 12 of them,
I actually would like LeBron more if he did that.
Yeah.
Because
first of all,
because that shows that he's
smart.
It shows that he's smart. I already know he's smart, but it shows that he's willing because it really is like their status is attached to their salary. You can see it. You know when you wait on them guys?
Yeah.
Like, whoever's got the biggest...
the money's there.
I know.
He's got the money.
But he wants...
You're set on... Listen.
I know.
Him taking a deal... And I'm not saying that he's going to take a veteran deal of like $2 million. Like, he's just going to take a deal for $15 million as opposed to 40. I know.
I hear what you're saying. I just don't think
It would be the smartest thing for him to do. And
if he can do it, that's why I'm saying if he does do it.
Shaq said at the end of his career that he wishes that he would have thought, because he went he did that thing where he was like doing a tour of he went to all those different teams, and he came up with a nickname. He was like the big cactus in Phoenix and all that shit, the big shamrock in the Celtics and all that. But he said, I wish I had been a little smarter and just thought, you know what? I might not be at the top of my ability, but I have a pretty good basketball mind. He says, I wish I would have just taken veteran deals to go to winning teams. And even if I would have sat on the bench, if it would have got me another ring, then I could have at least said that. I could have matched Kobe. I could have maybe, but instead I was just fucking around and I kind of went wherever. And he said, that's my challenge to LeBron. Think about your future and think, okay, also he wants to play with his kid. And his kid, I think, because of the new rules won't go into effect, and he can't just go straight into. They'll still be where you have to go do the one and done. He won't be able to come into the league until 2024.
Is he good enough?
If he is or not, it's a good point that Rich Eisen brought up. It doesn't matter because teams will take a flyer on him just in the hopes that LeBron James will join my team and will just want to play with his son for 1 year. And even if we don't win anything, the Washington Wizards sold tickets when Michael Jordan came and played the end of his fucking career there. So Orlando might be like, we're not gonna fucking win anyways. Yeah. Let's just draft.
We'll get Bronny.
Yeah, fuck it. We're the third pick in the draft. Let's just take him here. Who gives a shit?
Is he good though?
He's okay. He's 6'3". So they're saying that the growth spurt's probably not going to happen. So he's going to be a smaller guard, and he's not really got a big frame. So he's not as big as LeBron James is, but he's got the same mentality. He's pass first. He's got a really good mind for the game. You watch some of the games, and he's a scrapper, just like LeBron, where he's getting rebounds and shit. So I wouldn't say he's thought of as the top pick right now, but like I said, a lot of these lottery shit. I'm thinking of the Rockets. Yeah. I'm like, that would be fucking awesome
to get LeBron.
That would be awesome. Especially, I don't even care.
How old is he?
Oh, so LeBron.
How old's Bronny?
Oh, so Bronny is 16, going on 17.
So he's at least three years. So 3 years away from being able to do this. How old's LeBron?
37. Gonna
37?
Be 36. Gonna be 37 in his 19th
So he's got to be playing in his 40s, which is totally seeable.
It's seeable, but you're in uncharted territory as far as Vince Carter. Yeah, but Vince Carter was never leading a team, especially in the tail end of his when he was in his older years. And you can say that about a lot of the guys that played into their older years, like Dirk and Ray Allen and things like that. They were role players on a team. LeBron will never be that. He will never. It's not in him. He gets the ball. Everyone focuses on him. There's no way. I cannot foresee him just being a bench player on a team. The bench. No way. No fucking way. Yeah. Wherever he goes, I'm no disrespect to all those teams I just named.
Maybe if he wants to play with this kid, like if he wants to be on the same team as his kid.
But what Shaq said is totally true. Use the next 2 years while your kid can't even get into the league to try to get some rings. Get two more. And I don't know if it's with the LA Lakers. But if he goes to Memphis right now, as great as Ja Morant is, it turns into a LeBron team. With Ja Morant there. Now he's Kyrie Irving. Now he's Dwayne Wade. Now you're number 2. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's a great fucking problem to have. He goes to Golden State. Oh my God. Yeah, it becomes a LeBron James team, but he's making no-look passes to fucking Klay Thompson, who's wetting a 3. Like the options are endless if he decides to swallow his pride, make phone calls.
That's my point.
And that might be the problem, is that he's not ever going to do that.
And that's why if he does it, I'll be impressed.
If he does it, I mean, the Tom Brady show has died, so this will become the LeBron James show.
Yeah, no, I've never disliked LeBron. I liked LeBron.
What he's doing at his age right now, especially the other night in that Knicks game, he was incredible. And
he can still do it.
Compared to other people at his age, like Vince Carter's a great example. Vince Carter, great player, never averaging 28
points.
28, 8, 9.
Kareem at the end of his career was still scoring pretty well, wasn't he?
Yes,
I don't really
brought up
remember.
Kareem. Kareem's kind of a weird unicorn in this whole conversation, though, for me, because he played at a time where the big man that was agile. And would Kareem work in today's NBA? Yes, I think he would. I don't think he'd be as effective. I don't think he'd be able to do the same things that he was able to do.
Yeah, but I don't like to have. That's just such a.
I know. I'm just.
He
I'm
would have
saying,
learned how to play the way that they play today. I mean, we're
if LeBron had gone back, if you take LeBron's 6'9", 245 body and you tell him you can get more physical and you can hit people and you can be the bad boy if you want to. I like to think that he's a freak athlete. I'm pretty sure he could do it. I just don't know. Evolution doesn't go backwards. It goes forwards. So.
We can always speculate on that, but you just don't know. I mean,
I
like
know.
they played when they played. They had careers that they career.
It's a good comparison. Kareem.
Kareem, I remember he was at least in his late 30s. Still,
well, the Magic Johnson,
still a piece of
the Magic
that
Johnson
Laker
hook
team.
shot
Yeah.
was in his later years, and they won. But you could argue that
it wasn't his team anymore.
It wasn't. It was Magic's team.
It was Magic and Worthy,
James Worthy,
yeah.
and
all the other guys that I can't remember their names.
Yeah, all those other guys that we all know and love that I talk about, Elvin something. But yeah, basketball is getting down to it. We'll probably talk about that a little more just because football is about to be by the wayside and these shows are going to get crazy.
What are we going to talk about?
I don't know. We can talk about, whatever we want. Things that are going on in our lives, things that happened a long time ago. Tell me about the craziest fill in the blank. Tell me about the craziest sexual experience. I actually was talking with people at work the other day about in high school, I lost a strawberry up a girl because we were getting freaky and her pussy just reached out and I mean, it was unbelievable. And now it's on me too because I was testing how deep I could go, but her pussy just swallowed it up. Then she's in full panic. She's running around my house. My parents aren't home, but she's running around my house naked. I'm like, fucking lay down. She's like, we're gonna have to go to the hospital. I'm like, no, that's not happening. Lay down. I'm upping her like as fucking hard as I can, and I catch the leaves. I catch just the very stem of the leaf from the strawberry, and I pull it out. And I eat the strawberry. No, I'm just kidding. No, I didn't eat the strawberry. I thought about it. But yeah. And I mean, just shit like that. We're going to get into shit like that. Just things that we did as kids that I feel like
hilarious.
But yeah, be careful, kids. When you're playing around with fruit and vaginas, those vaginas are no joke. They will suck it up. They will eat it right up. And I mean, now that I'm older, I'm kind of mad at her. Like, I feel like I've seen enough queefing videos and crazy videos. She should have just pooped. She should have pooped it right out, right? She's freaking out, talking about going to the hospital. Like, God damn it! Like, I should have been like, hold on, now think about it. Let me put it this way: if you put a strawberry up my butt. I guarantee you I'd get that thing out. I guarantee you. I guarantee it. And I've never had it happen, but I'm just saying I could work it out because I've pooped before. So I feel like she should have figured it out. But that was my crazy strawberry story and a cautionary tale to all of you.
Damn.
What else happened this week? Oh, did you see all the Joe Rogan stuff?
No, I saw apparently he's getting canceled, but I didn't see.
Nah, and then Spotify was like, it ain't happening.
They make too much money.
It ain't happening.
From what I understand, and I don't really know, but there must have been a video of him from some other time.
Yes, saying the N-word, yes.
With a hard R.
Yes, and it was because, and it's totally taken out of context. They don't even show you the full clip. It's just him saying it again and again. And he's in a conversation with someone about how crazy it was to use the word and how calling them that was this. And instead of just saying the N-word, he just said it. And it's from a really old podcast. Now, that came up after Neil Young was like, I'm taking my stuff off of Spotify if you don't pull down Joe Rogan, who I don't even know who fucking Neil Young is. I guess he's like a country.
He's an old rock and roll.
Yeah, rock and roll guy, whatever. He's got songs.
You've heard of Sweet Home Alabama?
Okay. I've heard that song.
Then he said Neil Young will remember Southern Man don't need him around anyhow or something. That they're talking about Neil Young in that. It's because Neil Young has a song called
oh wait, he didn't sing Sweet Home Alabama?
No, they talk about Neil Young and him because he has a song called like Northern Man or some shit. I don't know.
Interesting.
I went to a Neil Young concert. I think he sucks.
Well, and he was after him because of the COVID. Like he's like, you're spreading misinformation about blah 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 blah. And then so now all these little leeches came along and they were like, let's do a deep dive into Joe Rogan's massive. Right. You know, he's got hours and hours and hours of stuff. And Joe Rogan actually, I really appreciate the video that he put out. He was like, listen, I'm not an advocate of saying the N-word or believe. And he's like, I actually feel really bad that I was ignorant to the fact of what I was doing. And if you watch his video, he talks a lot better than I do, but you're not canceling Joe Rogan. He's a fucking comedian that has made a living talking shit into a camera just like this, where you just go and go and go and you talk about women's vaginas and strawberries and you just you don't hold back. And
right, you just say shit that you might dig this up later.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it's hilarious to me that you think you're going to cancel him, because let me tell you, I'm never going to stop. If he goes wherever he goes, if he gets canceled off Spotify and he goes back to YouTube, I'm going to tune in to see what Joe Rogan, who his next guest is. He's not going to stop having guests because people want to go on to one of the biggest platforms that you can go on. I mean, they're talking about he can reach like 11 million people. He has like 11 million subscribers on Spotify, and or 11 million. He averages 11 million views or something like that,
probably per podcast,
per show, and the local news or Jimmy Fallon, Stephen Colbert, any of those shows, they average around 1 to 2 million views per show. So he's crushing them. He's crushing them, and they don't want.
And he reaches such a value.
Yeah, and he does whatever the fuck he wants. And to the mainstream media and to the people that want to take him down, I'm sure they're like, "Oh man, fuck this guy." But Joe Rogan ain't going nowhere. I love you, Joe. Brought to you by Joe Rogan. Please have us on. That'd be awesome. Yeah. I don't know what we would do. We would
he's in Austin.
We would just sit there and giggle. I think the two of us would just sit there and be like,
holy fucking shit.
You don't know anything about football, but we would love to talk to you about it.
Austin's not that far away, Joe.
Yeah, hit us up. And then The Rock apparently kind of came to Joe Rogan's defense. And then they like showed him the video of all the N-words, and he was like, I was not aware of this video. And then he kind of backpedaled, but you know.
David Goggins came to his defense.
Of course he did. David Goggins is his boy, and David Goggins is I don't know what David Goggins says, but I'm sure it's on the same lines as what we're saying of Joe talks and he says things, and he has deep conversations with really smart people. Yes, I watch the nonsense. I watch him talking to MMA fighters and the famous people, but he has fucking scientists and politicians and historians and geographers, and he has people that go on and on and on about stuff that I have no idea what they're talking about. And he has deep conversations with him. So Joe Rogan is not a racist. He's not a.
And that's what Goggins says. Yeah. He's like, I've known a lot of racists, and I'm going to paraphrase, but yeah, he said basically he's known a lot of racists in his life, and Joe Rogan's not one of them.
Yeah, no. And I don't know. People are saying, "Oh, the UFC is going to fire him." I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I guarantee you that Dana White has to have Joe Rogan.
Dana White gives no fucks,
and Dana White gives no fucks, and Joe Rogan does not have to do the UFC anymore.
No, he doesn't even
enough money.
He only does the biggest ones.
He only does the biggest ones, and he does it because he likes doing it. And I'm sure Dana White's like, what, fill in the blank as far as your paycheck, which doesn't really matter to Joe, but I'm sure Dana says that. Dana knows what Joe Rogan is. Joe Rogan is kind of the
fights are better.
Voice of the UFC. I mean,
the fights are better when Joe calling them. Yeah.
So he's not going anywhere.
DC and Joe Rogan
not going anywhere. You can try all you want.
I like Felder though. I mean, I like fucking Bisbing.
No, but you're not. You can't replace
Rogan,
Joe Rogan with another fighter. You got to have a voice that not only do we respect that he knows the sport, but is like kind of fun.
But that is what they do. I mean, if Joe's not there,
true. They put two
fighters.
fighters. But I'm saying it doesn't work if you get rid of Joe. The day that Joe retires, it's not the same.
It's not the same. But I do like Bisping.
No,
and I like Felder.
I like all them. I like Dominic Cruz as
is
a
good.
commentator. Yeah, I like them all. It'll be interesting to see now that I'm saying it out loud. If he does retire, if he does say I'm not doing the UFC anymore, it'll be interesting to see what they do. Do they just throw two fighters out there, or do you try to find another character to be
right? Because
kind of
one of the things that the fighters even dream about is the interview with Joe Rogan.
Oh, yeah.
After they win the fight. After they win,
it's a big deal. It's a big deal.
I mean, it would be like not having fucking Bruce Buffer.
Yeah. There's actually a UFC in Houston this weekend. Really? Adesanya and Whitaker too. I don't know.
Adesanya gonna whoop that.
Adesanya's gonna beat the fight. If it's anything like the last fight, he absolutely destroyed him.
Good.
He's so good.
Whitaker was really good too, but he ain't Adesanya good.
And listen, Whitaker won 3 fights after he lost to Adesanya, and he beat a lot of good fighters, so he earned this shot. But I just don't see it happening. Derek Lewis is fighting another Australian, Tai Tuivasa.
I like Tuivasa.
Yeah, I like Tuivasa a lot, and that's not going to go the distance because Tai Tuivasa, Derek Lewis is sometimes hesitant, but Tai Tuivasa is not. He throws crazy bombs, and he goes in, he gets in the fire.
Yeah, so that should be a fun one to watch. Yeah.
Derek Brunson and Jared Cannonier. That's another pretty good fight for the middleweights, and I just think Adesanya gets it done. I think I was interested in seeing the tickets are way too much to go to them. And a friend
it's on Saturday. Of course,
Alexander, my Macedonian friend who has been to a UFC, said it's kind of lame when you're there because you can't really see.
You can't see. I would imagine,
on. And so you're just watching the screens a lot of the time, and then like it's a delayed, like when the knockout happens or something. It's not the same. Shut your fucking mouth. But I
can imagine it's probably not that much fun unless you're like ringside.
Ringside's probably cool, but then even then, because I've heard some of the people say that sitting ringside, when they move to a certain point, there's there's a cameraman in your way, or there's a bar in your way, or there's like the coaches are kind of up, so they're like you kind of like I can see it just being better. Like honestly, going to the NFL game. It was okay.
Yeah,
it was kind of better at home. It's kind of better to see it from the angle that they film it from because that's
Although
where you
I
can
really
see
wish
everything.
that they would show us the Madden angle. That's what I want.
What down?
I want to. So like when we're
behind the
when
quarterback?
we're watching it, I want to see from behind the quarterback, and I also want to see. I want to see the fucking receivers run their routes.
Yeah, I hear you, but. I mean, that's why the wide shot is kind of the best because you can see the defense kind of moving around, and you get to see the.
I guess I want to see both.
Yeah, you want to see it all. Yeah, it'd be nice to have a split screen of both.
Or that would be cool too.
Yeah, and our ADD minds can do it nowadays.
And have the option of it.
Back in the if you did that in the 80s, my dad would have been like, "What the fuck am I watching?" Like. I can't focus. Give me one shot. But now we're ready for this. Like,
we can handle more.
Man, I'm so ridiculous. I get in trouble by my wife all the time because I will have my phone going with a podcast while there's something on the TV. And she's like, "What the fuck are you doing? Like, you're not watching either one of these." I'm like, "No, I'm listening to this, but I'm watching this on the TV." And she's like, No, you're not. You have to pick one."
That's funny. I have my setup. I have 2 TVs, right? And I'll be playing video games on this one. And I have a basketball game or something going on over here.
No, I mean, I feel like we can do it nowadays. We can multitask and we can have multiple things going on. So we watched something Sunday night because I did not watch did you watch the Pro Bowl? I mean,
have you
why
ever
are they
watched the
doing
Pro
this?
Bowl?
No, I mean,
I've never
ever
never. I think that I've watched
I like the
maybe
skills.
a quarter.
I like the skills thing that they do more, where they're playing dodgeball.
Yeah,
and
somebody said that the other day. They're like, I was watching the Pro Bowl, and they're like, what the fuck? I'm like, yeah, bro, it's not a real
They don't
game.
even tackle. Yeah,
No,
they're not even trying to hit each other. So it was a joke. So we watched other things. First of all, we can briefly kind of get. I don't know how long. I don't have a stopwatch going. This could be going on for 2 hours. I have no sense of time.
Hold on. While we're talking about the Pro Bowl, was your next point about the Pro Bowl?
I was going to say Ozark.
Oh, okay, so somebody brought up, I don't know where I saw it, but instead of the Pro Bowl, the worst two teams should play that week for the first pick.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
At least it would be fun.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, it would mean something. Yeah.
All right, so who is it? Jacksonville and the Jets. Is that
I like
what it is?
that. Yeah.
Who's 1 and 2?
Yeah, that's it. Jacksonville
and New York.
Yeah, yeah.
No, it's Detroit.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, Jacksonville and Detroit have to play for the.
So where are
first
the
pick.
Jets? Are they 4? Yeah, they must be
Yes.
4 because we're 3.
Yeah, we're 3.
Interesting. So Ozark, woo boy! Spoiler alert! If you haven't watched
Spoiler
it, go ahead
alert.
and look away because I'm gonna
Turn
get
off
into it
now.
here. But man, season 4, holy
Yeah, I enjoyed
shit,
it.
man.
I think I watched it all in like 2 days.
Well, and in classic Ozark fashion, I'll just start at the end here, where the Javi goes and he kills Darlene and he kills Wyatt, and I thought he was still in the house when Ruth is pulling up. I was like, oh no, she's gonna go in here and he's gonna be in there and he's gonna kill her. But then I realized, I was like, no, he doesn't even have to be there. Like, she's just gonna find Wyatt dead and she's gonna lose her shit.
Right, she's going after.
Now, did I know that Ruth is awesome? She's a firecracker.
Yeah.
I didn't know she was gonna bust up into the bird's house and say, "You give me my letter." Like, it was so, you stupid cunt. The way she said "stupid fucking cunt" was unbelievable. And I think it was the first time I saw in Marty and Wendy where they were genuinely like, oh shit. Like, some of these other situations we've got ourselves in, we can maybe talk ourselves, but she might. Marty was like, oh no, she's going to shoot me. She really is going to shoot me because they killed Wyatt. But she gets the name that she wants and she's like, you're going to have to fucking kill me. And then she gets out in the car. It was so tense. It was so incredibly tense. And that whole Bird family is outside because they're like, oh shit, what's gonna happen? I can't see a situation.
They're gonna kill her.
They're gonna kill her, and they're gonna kill the birds. How does not everybody die in this? Especially with this new Javi guy who is super quick to kill.
Yeah.
I don't even know why he killed the cop. I don't even understand him killing the sheriff. He could have probably shoot him off without killing him, but he wants to kill everybody. Everybody who comes near him. He
didn't even try.
Yeah,
He
the
just
other cop comes in the house and Marty, what the fuck is going on? It's okay. I just crawl.
Does that mean that
I'm keeping all that in. I'm keeping me crawling over to the computer in. Yeah. So what I was saying about Ozark, they've gotten Navarro arrested now. This the cop that freaked out, the black cop that freaked out. I forget her name, but she freaked out and she just went and did it on her own. That I feel like is the death sentence. It's the death sentence. They're all gonna die. That black cop's gonna die. They're gonna kill her baby. They might kill the old mom. They're gonna kill. I feel like Jonah might be the only one that sneaks out somehow.
Just both kids.
I could see.
Probably.
No, I think the daughter dies because she's gonna be with the parents.
What's her name?
I don't know.
I can't think of her name.
And the daughter really in this season, she's just a little mini me of the mom. She's just trying to become the mom. And they keep saying like she's going to be 18 soon, so she's 17, and they're giving her fucking wine and whiskey,
feeding it to you. That's
like constantly. Like, here you go, babe. Like, what the fuck?
Treat you like an adult and
the
you
fuck
love
is this?
us now.
So that was crazy. I
Love
really
me.
didn't understand that.
I do.
But man, Ozark, so good. For me, Breaking Bad is the best television show of all time.
I agree.
And it's because of the ending. So we'll see what Ozark does with this ending, but I think Ozark has a chance to be number 2, to be in that conversation.
So what's number 2 right now?
For me, Westworld actually on HBO is one of
I
the,
never even finished. I think I watched season 1.
Oh, dude, it didn't get you? Oh, dude, and like the new season, because spoiler alert on Westworld if you haven't done it. The robots that are inside of the park, that are inside of this park that they've made, get out.
Yeah,
They sneak out into the real world. And
Maybe
now
I'll
they're
have to
just
revisit it.
taking over the world. I mean, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy the way Westworld is right now. Now,
I like
Westworld
Sopranos a lot.
Westworld is new too. It's only 3 seasons in. So
Game of Thrones was really good.
yeah, but they fucked up the ending. I'll still give you. To me, Game of Thrones still makes top 5 because it was such a good show.
They did fuck up the ending,
but they fucked up the end.
Dexter, they also fucked up
the end. Yeah, I can't even get Dexter. Honestly, first 4 seasons are pretty good, but I mean, like the last
it got
5 are bad. Yeah. So, but another thing that we watched on Sunday night. So we finished Ozark, and then we watched Tinder Swindler, which is on Netflix.
I don't know why I watched it.
I'll tell you what I immediately said to Carrie and my wife, and I stand by it. There are thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of women that are doing exactly what he does, that are literally doing what he does to men.
Yeah.
And we are not blinking an eye at it.
Yeah.
We're just saying,
I didn't even think about that.
that's what it is, you know, like that's what it is. Like, this guy's getting played by this girl. Oh, well, sorry to that guy. Or he wants this. He likes fucking her, so he's paying for that. I mean, I don't know what this guy on the Tinder Swindler must have really good dick game, because he does fuck them, and he somehow talks to these women into giving him thousands of dollars, hundreds
I'll tell
of
you
thousands.
exactly what it is, though. You know what they fell in love with? I don't think it's his dick. I mean, maybe he does have a good dick game. They fell in love.
It's a good trick.
A billionaire.
Yeah, it's a trick. It's a really smart plan that he laid out for them to fall into this trap.
I mean, he's got to look
like a billionaire.
He definitely's got some move. I mean, he was a good looking dude. I mean,
was he? See, that was the other thing too. Is that I was
guess.
like, is he a good-looking guy?
I guess. I mean,
he's not like a big, strong, like, I don't know. I want my guys to be fucking yoked.
That's how you like your dudes.
Yeah, I don't like those little scrum. I like 10-inch dicks, with thick veins. Like, I'm not looking for them small shits. Like, I want my
but I don't think that's how chicks would like them anymore.
Okay, all right. Well, I guess
they like to be able to beat them up.
I was just like, I mean, also, okay.
Even they want it to be a fair
his body
fight.
size aside, he looked just like a normal Israeli dude.
But when you attach $1 billion to it and all this expensive, I mean, like they said, his fucking wardrobe was worth millions.
That he's wearing all the time.
So
he looks the part.
Right. You ever seen that thing where it's like you're not ugly, you're just poor?
Yeah.
It's fucking truth. Especially, when it comes to anybody.
I think the interesting thing about the documentary too was that he was never charged for. I think what he actually went to jail for was something else.
Fraud, I thought.
Fraud,
fraud.
No, but not for. He's never been charged for anything that came along this Tinder swindler. Because if I'm a judge or a lawyer, I could explain that to these girls, like I just said. And the flip side, like if you're a guy and you're doing this for a girl, if you're paying it for a girl, you're not going to turn around and say, this girl tricked me out of my money.
Doesn't Cardi B sing songs about it? I don't know, but...
I don't know. About the Tinder swindler?
No. Like, didn't Cardi B, like, sing a song or come out, like, talking about how they used to, like, get guys drunk and shit and then rob them?
Yeah, she would rob guys at the strip club.
Yeah.
I don't feel bad for the guys. I don't feel bad for the guys at all.
Right, you went in that situation.
Den and you fucking a couple
you hung out with strippers and you
and a couple of these female lionesses were like, we're gonna milk this guy for all he's got. Yeah, like
every time I've ever gone to the strip club, I walked out going, "Fuck, I got robbed."
Yeah, why the fuck did I do that? I'm sure that those girls that went to those cops. The cops or a lawyer or somebody looked them in the face and said, yeah, I mean, I hear you. This sucks that he did this to you. But you got played. You took $25,000 loan out in cash
and gave it to him.
Took it to him.
And
I can't explain that. What? Yeah. What court's going to give you that money back?
I guess it was just fraud.
It was fraud, but I mean, and I can't remember exactly, but they said that what he got arrested for was not even. I think it was something to do with the piloting that he did. Like he was like lying about his pilot license or something, and then so that was the fraud that he flew a couple of flights where he shouldn't have been the pilot. Anyways,
I don't remember that.
This guy's a catch me if you can, though. Let me tell you.
Yeah, he must.
I shouldn't have been sitting there going, man, this guy's a fucking genius. But the whole time I was like, this guy's a fucking genius. He's got the current girl on a date with the previous girl's money.
And it just
That's
keeps
a Ponzi scheme that I can get behind, boy.
It's such a Ponzi
For pussy?
scheme.
I mean, I love pussy and I love money. This guy really, I love my wife, but I'm just saying in the hypothetical of things, that's an unbelievable, I love that guy. And you know what? I bet you that Tinder swindler has lost a couple of strawberries. That's all I'm going to say. I bet you there's been 1 or 2 times where he's lost a strawberry up a bitch. And he let her run around and freak out. He was like, no, it's fine. You'll be fine. You'll figure it out.
Yeah, you couldn't do it the other way around.
No, the other way around. I said it immediately. I was like, well, isn't this what OnlyFans is? Like, isn't this exactly what, I mean, I could probably name.
You see it all the time in the restaurant.
Yeah, there's 20 girls right now that are come into our restaurant all the time this is exactly what they're doing. They're like, I just need to find a bunch of guys to pay for my shit, and I'm just going to give them pussy.
And I'm going to give them fake names.
And he was fucking these girls?
Yeah.
I mean,
they thought that they were.
They thought they were in relationships.
They were going to get married and shit.
All 3 of the girls did. All 3. Well, and
the one chick did.
Yeah, I don't understand her.
She was weird,
just a friend.
Yeah.
She was like, yeah, that's my friend. It was like,
yeah, she didn't want to fuck him, but gave him money.
Well, and I love the big bodyguard who I kept imagining, like, I don't know what you do to these women, sir. I really don't. But here we are on the private jet. We go to the nicest places. Whatever you've got going on, sir, you continue to do it because it is working, sir. Okay, well, here's what I need to do. I need to crack you over the head, and we need to take some pictures so that we can kind of like have this other sir, right here. Go ahead. Fuck me up, sir. I have never stayed in nicer places. I have never eaten the finest food. Everywhere you go, you say, order one of everything. It's fucking insane. Like, that guy was awesome. This Tinder swindler.
Yeah, he would have been fun to wait on.
I don't think, yeah, he would have, because he didn't give a fuck. I don't think I'm supposed to. I don't think this is the message that you wanted me to get from this documentary, but 2 thumbs way up to the Tinder swindler. You seem like you know what you got going on. Dude, and then like at the end, he's out. They're showing like shit off his Instagram. He's living large again.
He's doing the same shit.
Yeah, he's doing the same shit. I'm like, dude. Well, because, I mean, if that's not what he went to jail for, I bet you he was sitting in jail going like, okay, all right.
I just thought it was funny how like he just kept going back and saying, it was literally, he would just do the same thing, saying the same
to the next girl.
shit.
He find the next girl.
And they just fucking fell for it. And I was sitting there going like, are you, what?
Yeah, but that's what these dudes fall for, these thoughts. That's where you get these guys that go back to the same strip club again and again and again.
So money to women is the same thing as pussy to dudes.
Yep.
And so that's what. So to me, like they got all fucking soaking wet when they thought he's a billionaire
and he cares about me and
billionaire.
He wants me to
like
come.
To the point, like you don't understand what that word billionaire like seeped into their brains and like. Fucking infested it.
He made websites that he put up that he was smart about it.
Very good at acting like he was rich.
Yep.
And you have to act a certain way to pull that off.
Yeah.
Because rich people would fucking sniff you out and fucking, you know, they would know.
Yep. And I mean, He was very angry when he would get found out. He would never admit it, but he would get pissed off.
My enemies. That's my fucking enemies.
You will pay for this. You will pay for this. And as I always say, there is an action to his reaction. Now, do I feel like this guy needs his ass beat a little bit? Yes. As another man sitting there going, yeah, this is fucked up that you did this. You probably need your ass beat a little bit. But that's not the message that I received. The message that I received was that this guy needs to run classes on how to do it because he figured it out. And if your girls don't like it, don't get...
Stop doing it.
I've been in a lot of relationships, and I have made the mistake in the past of like giving money to when you're just in a relationship or you're just like, you get tricked. Never, ever would I be like... And I get it. I mean, he played the role of like, I'm a billionaire, so it's coming back to you, I promise. But there's no way. There's no way you could talk me into. And I hope if I have a daughter, I can teach her, don't you ever get swindled.
Especially not like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah. She took him 25 grand in cash. That is crazy. That is crazy.
That one chick put like 140 grand.
And that total. Peter guy is just fucking picking it up going, oh, did you do it, son? Let me see your dick. Let me see it. I don't know what you do. Yeah, I love it. And it was a great movie, little documentary you should check out. But not maybe for the reasons that you're probably going to get something a little different than what I did. But maybe I'm fucked up. I don't know. But man, I think we cleared the beautiful mind. I think we hit everything here.
I think we took longer than we thought.
Yeah, on a week where there are no football games played, we talked more than we ever have. So
I think I left my phone on my bike.
my phone's downstairs, so we are disconnected here. Yeah. But thanks, you guys. Thanks for sticking with us. Come back. We'll talk more about other sexual conquests.
Let's go. I'm rooting for the Bengals. Come on, Bengals.
Go Bengals. Hoo day. Hoo day. It's a really stupid song, and I can't get behind that. But hoo day.